Hello and welcome to our fifth lesson. We did a learning check and spent some time on day 4, but we're going to go through some more math. Let's do a warm up just to see if you can think through some of this. Let's say that you go shopping and at an in-store sale, you buy one, get one half off. So that's 50% you're going to pay for the second item you buy. The other option is online. You see that you can get 30% off whatever you buy. So what's going to be our best option as far as price? Give this a thought, see if you can figure it out. A hint would be maybe say you're buying something for $10 or $100. It doesn't really matter what the amount is because we're dealing with percents. But see if you can think that through. I will give the answer. You can hit pause. Okay, so if it was a $10 item, you'd pay $10 plus half, 5, you'd be spending $15. If it was a $10 item, you got 30% off, you'd pay 7, and then another item would be another 30% off, you'd pay 7, and that would be 14. Your average savings here is really only 25% when you buy one at full price and then get half off. Whereas here, obviously, we have 30% off. So something to think about. Marketing is what it is, and they count on the customer to know the percents. All right, just a quick reminder of what our shapes are. Nose skew, we could also call that symmetric. And then left skew and right skew. If we saw data, we'd see small columns to the left if it's left skewed. If you had an item like this, or a situation like this, it's skewed left. Skewed right is going to be the opposite of that. Bunch of values on the lower end, and then somehow something that drags it up to the top. And then, of course, skewed or no skew, we don't know what it could look like. It could look like some items that are lumped together on the low end and then lumped together on the higher end, or on normal skew would look something like this. Okay, so just to remember that. All right, let's look at 16 student scores from a math quiz. And the scores are 52 up to 98. We want to find the 5-number summary. So if it's 16, we know that there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items to the left and 8 items to the right. To find the median, we'd have halfway between 73 and 74. That's pretty obviously 73.5. Now with 8 items here, we also have 4 items to the left, 4 items to the right. Halfway between here is 67. And 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway between here, 83. Of course, we have our minimum and our maximum. The 5-number summary does include the median, but not the mean or the mode. Let's find the 5-number summary. I just did. So that's 5 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The minimum, the maximum, the median, 73.5. And then down here, 67. And up here, 83. The IQR, I'm going to throw in the range also. The range is the range of values from 52 up to 98, or 98 minus 52. And that ends in a 6. So 46 is the spread. As we think about things, again, we're measuring spread as well as measures of center. So the range is that. The IQR, same idea, but you just go between Q3 and Q1. That would be 83 minus 67. And that would be, let's see, ends in a 6. So 16, I believe, for the IQR, 46 for the range. Oh, it's down here, 46. And then to find the mean, again, that's the sum of all the values divided by how many, in this case 16, and I went ahead and did the math on that. So 1205 is the sum. If we divide that by 16, we get the number 75.3, or we could call that an average. Typically the mean we think of as the average. And then the mode is most frequently occurring. I've got 66 showing up twice, 72 showing up twice. And that's it. That means we have two modes. If there was a third one, let's say 80 shows up 3 times, there would be only one mode because 80 would show up 3 times. That's not our case. So our mode, and actually it's modes, are 66 and 72. Now to draw a box plot, we simply use these numbers from up here. And I'm going to do some estimating. So this would be my 52. And 98 would be up here. These are our whiskers. Median 73.5, somewhere in here. 67 and 83. So we can see most of the scores are spread out up here more. And this is a box plot or box and whisker plot. All right, that's a good warm up. Now, let's take a look at some data, some made up data, obviously. 20 of Mr. Greco's physics students recently took a quiz. Here's our results as far as a 5-number summary. And let's answer some questions. What was the median score? So remembering back to what our 5-number summary includes, it includes our min and max and median. And then this is Q1 and Q3 down here, not this thing. So here's our 5-number summary. The median is going to be right in the middle of our box and whisker plot. So you're going to want to be able to take a 5-number summary and make the box plot. And remember, you need a good number line. You're not going to just do it underneath your data values. So our median is going to be right in here, and that's going to be an estimate. Let's count here. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are counting by twos. If they're all whole numbers, then 71 would be the median score. The range, go ahead and try that. Hit pause in these videos if you ever want to see what you would think of and then hear the answer at the end. So the range, I'm going to go 2, 4, that's an 84 and 53, it looks like. So 84 minus 53, and that's going to equal 31, a range of 31. What score was greater than or equal to 75% of the scores? And this is something called a percentile. You'll hear about this stuff as you go through your high school education. They're going to rank you in your class as percentiles, as well as when you take tests like standardized tests. Like a 90th percentile means that you scored as good or better than 90% of the data. So 75% of the data needs to be below, is what this is saying. And again, we're not looking at these numbers here now. Now we're counting. This is 25, 25, 25, and 25% of the data. And we want 75% to be below. That's the 75th percentile, 2, 4, 6. So 76 would be a score that's in the 75th percentile or better than or equal to 75%. And then finally, Mr. Greco regularly sets passing grades on his quizzes to be the score of the lower quartile. So the lower quartile is Q1. This is the upper quartile. What's the passing grade on that? Well, if we count 2, 4, 64 would be that. And these are quizzes. I would hope that lower quartile wouldn't be what he's trying to set for passing on an actual test, but quizzes are kind of formative. So that should go through the material as you relate mean, median, mode, and then the measures of spread that we use with the 5-number summary in the box and whisker. Then for your notes, basically everything we covered except a couple more items here. The range is max minus min. The IQR, these are definitions, Q3 minus Q1. If you look at median IQR, they really help us understand skewed distributions more because they eliminate these extreme values or possibly outliers. And then we're going to start looking at standard deviation. Standard deviation is another measure of spread. It describes how spread out the data is from the mean and center. So the variability, how much variation there is in scores or whatever. So mean and standard deviation are going to be best used to describe our normal distributions. And we'll follow up with some homework and see you in class.